This is the plaintiff, David McCurchie. He says the defendant, his ex-girlfriend, owes him money he loaned her. And now that they're split up, he's having one heck of a time getting her to pay him back. The defendant's a chronic liar. The judge is going to see right through her. And he can't wait to win this case and walk out of here with a judgment in his favor. He's suing for $1,300. This is the defendant, Pamela. She says she and the plaintiff went on a trip to the Dominican Republic, and he paid for it because he said he was her boyfriend and wanted to. She ended up breaking up with him because he's a very insecure guy. He got mad, and that's the only reason he's now trying to turn this gift into a loan. Oh, money? She doesn't think so. She's accused of tripping up an ex-boyfriend. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $3,000 for monies owed for rent, utilities, and gas.
All parties, please use your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. These litigants were all lovey-dovey until they went on a trip, and one says the other stiffed him. Now, she says it's sour grapes because she broke up with him. It's the case of the grapes of wrath.
Douglas. David McCurchie, you are suing Pamela. You've asked me not to mention your last name for $1,300 that you say she owes you, that you fronted to her to fix her car mirror and pay off her credit cards. You have a counterclaim against him for $3,000, which you say he owes you for rent, the balance of a trip that he hasn't finished paying for, gasoline, and some other odds and ends. How long were you two dating?
Not long. 4 months.
4 months. How'd you meet?
Tinder.
Oh, geez. So you met on Tinder?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 4 months, and you were dating for 4 months before everything hit the fan. All right. And in that time, apparently, you fronted some money to her that you want repaid to you. What money was that?
I paid for part of her trip to go to Dominican Republic, and I replaced a mirror that she knocked off backing into her garage.
Okay. Let's talk about the mirror. Why did you help with that?
Because she was hurting for money.
Okay.
And I had it, so.
How much was that?
$300.
Or do you have a receipt for that?
No, I gave her cash.
Okay. And according to you, you loaned her $1,000 at some point to pay off her credit cards. Tell me about that.
Well, I paid to pay off, help her pay off her credit card debt. I gave her a check for $1,600. $600 of it was for my airfare.
Do you have the canceled check? Is there a dispute about whether he paid you a check that was $1,600? No dispute? He did pay you that? Okay. All right. So you gave her a check for $1,600, and that included what and what?
$600 of it was to cover my airfare, and the balance was to help her pay towards her credit card debt.
To cover your airfare for what?
For the trip to Dominican.
So $600 represented your airfare?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me hear from you. First, I know you have a counterclaim against him, and we'll talk about that in a second, but first let's talk about the car mirror. How did that come about?
He had his Suburban was parked in my garage, and so I was backing in, and it was the first time it was parked in the garage, and because I was backing in, I was more worried about not hitting his vehicle, and I knocked the mirror off of the driver's side of my door.
He offered to do it, and he didn't have a string attached? He didn't say you got to pay me back or anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then how did the $1,000 come into play?
I did not borrow $1,000 from him to pay off my credit cards. He had given it to me for my portion or a partial portion of my trip to the Dominican.
So the entire $1,600 was for the Dominican trip, according to you?
Yes.
Because he was going to pay for himself, the room, and you?
Yes.
And is that true?
No.
The only thing you were paying was your airfare?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any evidence that he offered to pay for you and him?
Yes, I do.
What do you
have text messages saying that, and
text
they're all
messages
dated that he was gonna, and I also have a copy of his check that says in the memo it's for the DR trip, not a loan to pay off my credit card.
Oh. Do you text?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Text messages? Have you looked at them before you came here today?
No.
No? Would you
No,
like me to
'cause she
refresh your recollection?
She'll only save the ones that are relevant to her.
Show me your phone with the text messages.
I do.
Well, then you can't complain. Okay, so go ahead and turn on.
Various days.
Yeah.
I have them dated in there.
Yeah. First declaration that he's paying Wednesday, June 3rd. From you. Boy, I am bored today. I'm looking at our Dominican trip. It's about $1,250 a person. And he responds, I'm in. Means it's going to cost me $2,500, right? To which you respond, LOL, love, I can pay for my own vacation. I'm excited. It was so much fun last year. To which you answer, well, what kind of boyfriend would your friends think I was if I let you do that? Ooh. All right, give me a second to look through this. Wow, you guys text a lot.
If you just double tap at the top of the screen, it'll scroll up like a large portion.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I did not know that.
I have a 13-year-old son. It's the only reason I know.
What kind of phone is this?
iPhone.
So this happens on my phone?
Yes.
Wow. I am so happy. Wow, litigants never teach me anything. This is awesome. All right, so if I get you an LLC and an FEIN, are you going to pay for our trip to the DR? What's that about? You're incorporating him?
Yes, he has a company that he had asked for my assistance with and doing a lot of administrative paperwork for.
She has a series of texts, all of which you're saying you're paying for the whole trip, over and over.
This is in June.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Well, there's some things that happened after that.
Yeah, somebody broke up. That's why
No.
you're not going on the trip. Who broke up with who?
Had to do with alcohol.
Okay, who broke up with who?
I left.
You left. Is that accurate?
He left to take care of his business, but we were still together, and ultimately I finally said, this isn't working.
What did it have to do with alcohol?
Well, let's see, when I first started dating her, she wasn't drinking, which was neither here nor there. And then the first night that she drank after we started dating, it was complete blackout. I questioned her the next morning, well, I don't remember a thing. And then in July, her and her friend went downtown to Columbus to a thing for marathon or whatever. She proceeded to get drunk again and sideswiped a cement median with her car. And then the last night we were together, the first thing that, when I walked in the back door, she's in the kitchen drinking wine and yells at me, says, come in here and me. And I'm like, your son is upstairs. Well, he doesn't give a. And I'm like, seriously, he's 13 years old. I think he does care. And that was, I left that night.
Did she ever reach out to you and tell you that she would stop, that she would make an effort, that she would whatever, or you were
Originally,
done?
I thought she was gonna, but she has no desire to stop. She thinks I guess she thinks it's still fun. But all this happened after
But
June.
I have to tell you, the text that I'm reading sounds like you're all booking it at the same time, which lends credence to her argument that you're paying for the whole thing. In fact, she has a copy of the check that says DR trip on the bottom. It doesn't say loan to pay off your credit cards and all this other stuff that you're talking about. What did you think was the problem and the reason why you guys broke up?
David likes to put words in my mouth and tell me what I'm thinking and feeling, and I didn't really appreciate that.
How so?
He had told me multiple times he thought I was unattainable, and he called me upper class, and he called himself lower class, and so he would say these things and, saying that I said them, and I've never said that. I don't look down on anybody that has a job. I mean, if you have a job, I think you're an amazing person.
Well, you certainly text nicer than I do. I mean, you're all very baby this, baby that. I should add a few more babies. You're the best, silly man. You're the best, and I think my husband would have a heart attack if I did that. I call him love all the time. Love, how is your, All right. You've got a counterclaim against him for $3,000, which you say is for rent and utilities from June to September. He had his own place, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
So did you ever tell him you need to pay rent and utilities at my place?
Yes, because he was spending the majority of his time at my place, so.
So wait, so you're charging your ex-boyfriend for spending time at your place? Did you ever say to him, hey, if you're gonna sleep with me tonight, you're gonna have to pay? Did you ever say that? Did you ever say
I did not say that, no.
If you're gonna hone in on me here, like where you're taking draw space and you're leaving a toothbrush, you gotta help pay the rent. Did that discussion ever happen?
Yes.
I'm finding it hard to believe that you are suing him for any other reason than that he's suing you. Because you guys split
that's
up
exactly
when?
right.
When did you guys split up?
The end of September.
Right.
That's exactly right, because I wasn't going to.
Right.
No.
Okay, so now, $43.20 for gas? Tell me about that.
We have a Fuel Perks program at our grocery store, and he was on my Fuel Perks account, and he went and filled up his tank using the free gas I had earned by grocery shopping at the store.
How did he do that? Did he steal it?
He had a card. He was on my account.
Okay, so if he's on your account...
She gave it to me.
Right, exactly. How
See,
is that something that he has to recompense you for?
Because it was after we broke up, after he
Oh,
filed this.
after you broke
yes,
up?
it was after we
Was that
filed this
after you
lawsuit.
broke up?
No, we were still talking.
He filed this lawsuit on September 26th, and he took the gas on September 30th.
Wait,
we were not
you
still
filed
talking.
he filed the lawsuit September 26th.
And sold the gas on September 30th.
So when two people are dating and they go on a trip, is it usually split down the middle? I'm going way in the back on this one. What do you think?
Absolutely not.
So one person pays. Would that person be a guy?
I think whoever invited who has to pay.
Oh, that's an interesting theory. I'm going to you. You're nodding.
I agree with his point.
What if the woman invited the guy?
Then she should pay.
Oh, I thought you were going to be really inconsistent, like a nail. Going inside the courtroom.
So if you filed the lawsuit on September 26th, why are you using up the free gas that you know
Because
she wants?
some of those gas points are mine too, because when I shop at Giant Eagle, I swipe the card too.
Oh, okay. So
And see, that's probably the text
so
messages.
you used all of it, right?
That's probably the text
Did
messages.
you use all of the
Yeah,
reward points? Okay.
30 gallons. 30 gallons. But
All right, and $200 for the company logo. I can't
Gas
wait.
points.
Tell me about the $200 for the company logo. Go ahead.
A friend of mine is very creative, and when David was incorporating, he wanted logos, so I asked my friend, and I have an email here from David to my friend who created the logos asking how much he owed. And my friend said, you know what, we're doing a fundraiser together. Could you please just make a donation to the American Cancer Society instead?
Okay.
And so I asked him, I can make the donation online if you'd like. How much do you want to donate? And I have the text message saying that he would also repay me for that.
Give me that.
Don't scroll through. They're right here.
Don't scroll through 'em?
Well, if you want to.
I don't know. I see a lot of
juice.
juicy stuff when I scroll.
Yeah.
Do you owe her $200 for the logo?
no.
Honey, you're right in the text saying, you said, do you want me to donate another 100 to Tony for you? He sent over the logos. And your answer, yes, please, I'll make sure you get it back.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay? You can't just shoot off your mouth.
Because
saying
I don't keep
If
texts.
you don't remember, just
No,
say you don't
I don't
remember. Don't say
remember.
absolutely not. Oh, okay. Apparently I did.
That's why my phone's empty.
Jeez. I've got you 100 times saying that you're going to buy her that trip, that is a gift, that you're paying for you and for her.
That was before the 4th of July where she wrecked her car drinking and driving again. I was done. I'm not supporting somebody that can't put down the
Except for
alcohol.
that, it wasn't before the 4th of July because you wrote the $1,600 check on August 3rd and wrote on the memo line,
The
DR
agreement.
trip. So why should I believe that everything changed when I'm looking at these texts and everything hadn't changed? As a matter of fact, I've got text from you on August 29th saying, okay, so how much does this trip cost? And on August 8th, when you wrote the check, you wrote DR trip. I find that was a gift and not a loan. The mirror, do you have any evidence that the mirror was supposed to be paid back?
Just her word.
Were you supposed to pay back the mirror?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I find on your counterclaim against him absurd that you would suggest that he has to now turn around and pay you rent all that time that you were never collecting it, demanding it, or informing him that he would have to pay it. And as far as the gas is concerned, I'm not going to separate the pots and pans like you guys are asking me to. I got to tell you, he seems like kind of still hurt. You seem like you've moved on. Has there been any contact since then?
Yes, he will not leave me alone.
What do you
He
mean?
continues to text me and harass me and ask me to help him do stuff for his business. And I've
And
asked
what?
him-
And you're saying don't contact me, or
Yes.
you're doing stuff?
No, I've told him not to contact me.
The company logo thing, clearly he tells you, I'll get you for that. So you certainly have proof of that. So I'm going to order on the plaintiff's lawsuit against the defendant, 0. On the defendant's lawsuit against the plaintiff, net judgment in favor of the defendant for the $200 for the work that was done. So that's my ruling, $200 verdict for the defendant. That's it. Good luck, folks.
Well, it looks like the texts told the whole story here. Step on in here, and therefore you lose this case. What's your feeling on this outcome now?
It wasn't about the money. You know, it's about her character and, admitting the truth.
Have you gotten over her yet, or is she still?
She's an incredible woman and she's sober. Yeah, I'm not over. Oh, no, I'll always love her. She's a great woman. She did a lot for me.
But you heard her say that she's trying to break off with you.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. All right, right around this way. Here comes the defendant into the hallway now. All right, so what are you feeling coming out of the courtroom?
I really wish I would have gotten more of my rent and utilities because we did discuss it. She was right. We probably didn't discuss it the day he moved in. But
What was it like seeing him on the other side of the courtroom there when you don't want him in your life, and he obviously admits he still has feelings for you?
I think that's the only reason we're here is because he wanted to see me.
What's it like seeing him standing there like that?
I didn't look at him or make eye contact with
You
him.
think you've heard the last of him?
I hope so. I will be blocking his number, so.
Harvey?
I gotta say, when you're in a relationship, all the more reason to document it in writing so things don't blow up.